Ole, ole. Welcome to Who Let the Moms Out, a podcast where we talk like this and bark like that.
Well, the barking was meant to be like soundtrack, a background
A soothing barking
soothing
sound.
bark.
Oh my gosh, we are. If you've heard any of our other episodes, we are delirious.
The thing is like our introductions are never the same. Not one is the same. We're all beautiful petals, roses.
What? I think we're just trying to. I think we're trying to learn how to do this still. I think we haven't found our. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about redefining the definition of success as mothers. Right?
Yes.
That's the topic we're going to talk about. Yeah.
That
So
is-
basically, it's really interesting because we are both moms and we're both entrepreneurs, which is probably the two hardest jobs in the world, and we're doing them both at the same time. And I would say we're equally as much beginners at both motherhood and entrepreneurship. Like the timelines are literally, which is, it's nonsense. Now that I say that out loud, I'm like, well, no wonder it's been so hard. Because it's like
we just decided to do the hardest things at the same time because
right.
Why not?
Why not? We woke up and we chose violence. So we are talking about redefining what success means as a mother and maybe also as an entrepreneur. I think there's this whole shift happening as well. I don't think we're unique in this journey. I think there's a lot of us that when we give birth, we realize we either don't want to do what we were doing anymore, or we just need a shift. And I think for a lot of us before, that came with just being at home, getting depressed, not knowing what to do, but I think for the new generations with so much technology and many resources at our fingertips, I think that's slowly transitioning into, I don't know what to do. Let me just start trying something out there and see what gives. And I think success is a lot more, I think if you stay the course, I think it's more attainable today than it was, 50 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, but I think with that comes also the load, right, of the expectations. I think for a lot of us, we see other women do things and we think, oh my God,
I need to be doing everything.
Yes, whether it's in motherhood or business, because I think, it's so funny. I'm now coaching these women and some of them are incredible, they're professionals and they have these crazy jobs, 3 kids, whatever, and then they're like, I don't know how you're doing this postpartum, and I'm like, I'm looking at what you're doing, and it's like what, how are you doing that? And I think it's important to have a conversation of what are you expecting, right, for the season of life that you're in, as a mother and even as an entrepreneur, because I think it's so easy to look at another person and think, oh, they're doing so much more. They got it so much more than we do. They're so much better,
Yeah. But we forget where we actually are and where we actually started. And we were all the way back there and now here. It's we have actually evolved. We actually came along since, back then. And it's quite important for us to realize that. For us to realize how far we have come.
And I think when you look at, for example, a craft or content or art or anything, a job that you can do, if you're doing the same job and you look back a year ago, if we look now, let's say what we were posting a year ago, how our business was going a year ago, you do a lot of graphic designy sort of work in Canva. If when you look at your designs from a year ago, you even tell me, oh my God, I hate how that looks. Right? It's because you've evolved, so you can compare. But the difference with motherhood, I think, is that with motherhood, it's always changing, every other week.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You literally can't compare because you'd be comparing, carrots to potatoes. It's totally different.
Yeah.
So I think that's what also.
But then
makes
there's
it so
the societal expectation as well, and it's that's the other thing that you start comparing. The apples and carrots, because we don't have the same. All of us around the world, all the moms, we don't have access to the same things. So obviously, why are we still comparing apples and oranges what? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane because it's a little bit more of that whole we're our own worst critics, we're our own worst enemies in every sense of the word. It's we're sitting there it's we're already
we're the worst.
self Anyway, so I was thinking, how great would it be if we could do a little exercise of, instead of just looking at what other people are doing, one thing I've been doing lately is ask myself two things. One, where am I at in that journey, right? Like if you've accomplished a yard with a pool, which you recently put a pool in your yard, how freaking awesome is that, right? Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, damn, a nice would be to have a pool in my house, you know? So
Yeah, but then you live in Hawaii, so
so
like
so
there's again the apples
right,
and carrots.
right. So then in my journey, where am I at? Right. So instead of looking at what somebody else has, be like, well, okay, well, my dream a year ago was not to have a pool. My dream a year ago was, let's say, to move to Hawaii. And now I live in Hawaii. So am I not in the same or similar spot in my journey? Right. I think if we could do the exercise of looking at where another mother is or another business person is, and just sort of like see our own journey and see where we're at, how far we've come, because really the competition really is with ourselves. We're always setting higher goals, different expectations for different parts of the journey. And then I think it's also really useful if you're in the season where you want to move forward, to ask yourself, what are they doing that I can replicate in my own life? That's been really helpful for me lately, especially
Yeah.
when I start feeling like, yeah, I'm just, like when the word failure starts coming in, like, okay, I'm failing at this. I like to just be like, okay, well, who's winning? Who's winning? Who am I comparing myself to that feels like they're winning and I'm not? Right. And then what are they doing that I can replicate? And that's been so helpful for me. It's been so helpful because it's led me to take actions in areas of my life where I've literally been frozen for months because I've literally just been sitting there, one, thinking I'm failing, and two, how others are winning and I'm not winning. And I'm just like, why am I not winning? Why am I not winning? Like, why is this difficult? Like the other day, I actually managed to de-escalate a fight with Alaska. Like literally, I was sitting there and it was like, I was feeling so triggered. And for a moment, I just like stopped there. I breathed and I was like, what am I going to win here? you know? And like that
It's a good
alone.
question.
Yes. What am I getting at? Because really, like what am I winning after this fight happens? Because
Yeah.
if it's very little, let's not have a fight. It's not worth it. right? And so
It's
how can
most
I help
likely not worth.
myself? Yeah, no, for real. It's like you have to really, anyway, we've derailed it.
Okay, let me start you with the first question then. So, like, how
Yes.
did you, before your kids, how did you see yourself, like, envisioning, what was your version of success back then? So, like, you
Hmm.
imagined yourself, like, successful.
Well, so this is not in relation to having a family at all, and I don't know if that's how you meant it in general, but like at one point in my life, I think I would have thought I was successful if I was in Hollywood movies and won an Oscar because I was going to
Yeah,
school for acting. So I was like, if I
that's what
won
I
an
meant.
Oscar, yeah, 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 yeah. If I won an Oscar at one point in my life, that would have been like the highest level of success, or like being paid to be in acting, but then you accomplish some of these goals and then they become smaller or you change
Yeah,
and they stop being important. Like that wouldn't be as important to me. Although this past weekend I was thinking, how cool would it be to produce a show where like we show people what it's like to travel with kids, like what it's like to go to different destinations and actually travel, like take the buses and walk around and go souvenir, whatever it is,
yeah.
adventures, excursions. Like I would love to do that. Like it would be so cool. And then it got me thinking, damn, I really want to work with like a movie company or like Netflix or something like that. And I was like, oh, what if I won an Oscar through that?
Oh,
I was like, and then I was like, look how, and obviously it probably wouldn't be for acting because it would be more like real, actually real. Like I wouldn't pretend to be someone else. I would just be me. You know what I mean? Like it would be about traveling, not so much about acting. But maybe, I don't know, it's so well produced. We partner with something awesome and somehow the company wins an Oscar. I don't know. Like, and I just had this moment of like thinking and I was like, and it hit me that after a while of being a mother, you go back to starting dreams that are completely independent from motherhood. And I'm starting to
yeah,
feel that again, even though I just had a baby. And then it hit me that the first postpartum and the second can be entirely different. Maybe they're just different for me. Maybe they're just this type of different for me. I don't know how it works for everybody, but I'm just saying, like, because with Alaska, it took me years to start seeing anything for myself, anything that had anything to do with me, with
yeah.
what I wanted, with like it 4 years almost entirely.
Yeah.
And now with Atlas,
In the
like she's
back
3
burner.
months and I'm already like thinking of things that I want to do. And how cool is that?
That's good. That's a really
Yeah.
good, hopeful thing for second kid people. So you'll know, you
Yes,
have hope.
yes. It's coming.
It'll be easier, somewhat.
Yeah.
And
How about
now,
you?
what is like? What
Oh,
about
sorry. Go
me?
ahead.
I think no, it's fine. My thing was just I think I always wanted to have my own business. So like, it kind of doesn't change much. But I think my goal before was more, having an actual like 9 to 5 job and my own company that does whatever, like the things that I wanted to like provide to the world. I don't know what I wanted, but I wanted to have my own company. And but yeah, but now it's more like, having my own business, but also, freedom is more like having the freedom to spend time with the family and
Right.
not having to focus my whole day to working type thing. So it didn't change much. It
Yeah.
didn't. But
But it's crazy how that
one of the
definition
reasons,
of
yeah.
success is so different, right? Like before it's like all the money in the world. Now I'm like, I don't want to
All the
work
money,
more.
yes, being able to have all the
Yeah.
money. Just like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I
why?
want I want a
No.
decent level of money, but don't be offering me $3 million for working 60-hour weeks. I'll put it off for a few
Exactly,
years. I'd rather be
exactly,
home with my kids
exactly,
and make a lot less, just be comfortable, because it's
exactly.
like you're never gonna get I was talking about this with Roger yesterday, how it's so like funny how like your priorities change so much. Like we're about to make a big shift in our lives again, and it's all in the interest of spending more time together. And I was talking to my dad about it yesterday. I called him for Father's Day, and I was explaining why we were gonna think of this move and why we're gonna like take such a big initial pay cut at least, and like why are we willing to do this? And I was like, well, because then we can all be together, like
Yeah,
and my dad was like, yeah, just to be
it
with your
makes sense.
family. Yeah, it's like later on in life, and I've seen it with my parents, by the way. My parents like started businesses and decided to try new things and all this like investing now that they're older. Whereas
Oh, yeah.
when we were kids, I feel like they were so like just we were always together, and I think for them it was similar. Like their priority was spending time with us,
That's
like
good. That's really good.
yeah, but yeah, when that's your priority, you're not really thinking. I mean, you are thinking about making money, and I think that's what's so conflicting for most parents too, right?
Yeah.
Like they're sitting there going like,
Yeah. But that's also like a thing, I think, like a past thing. Like, I think because for so long, the man would go out to get the money and to make the money.
mm,
And that was what they would focus on. And that's what you need to focus on. And if you want to be someone, you have to work these many hours and you have to go to college and you have to do all of these
mm,
things. And you have to do all of this because if you don't do this, you're going to fail and you're going to have no money. And it's all about fucking money. And nobody ever tells you that, you can create your own business and there is ways.
yeah,
And now with the technology and the internet and everything, like it's just become so much easier, which is really good because it's allowed a lot of parents to actually stay home and enjoy their families. A lot of dads that never had that opportunity before because of society norms and things like that. So, it's really interesting to see how things are changing and how different opportunities are happening more and more for both parents to stay at home and like to actually spend time with their families instead of just
yeah.
rushing to the next job.
Yeah,
So
and
it's really nice.
I think it's also a great opportunity for families because I think entrepreneurship gives you the opportunity of like it gives the whole family the opportunity of learning what it's like to run a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can have it your way because a lot of entrepreneurs obviously choose the other route of just working a bunch of hours and just growing to
Yeah.
the millions and then stopping, and that's totally fine. There's no shame in that. Like we all know what we need to do, you know what I mean? But I think it's really cool that the shift is happening where people are just becoming aware that dude, there's a better way, there's an easier way. Like you do
Yeah.
not have to work hard. I'm sorry, but no, if you
Yeah.
work hard
And
you're
you're
not
gonna die,
guaranteed
and what is that
success.
money gonna go for? Like you
Exactly.
have to enjoy life, and
Exactly.
you have to show your kids how to enjoy life as
But I
well. It's not
also
just about work.
getting into the I can't do this without getting into my hippie self, but like getting into the manifesting side of things, like but it's true though, like getting into the manifesting side of things, like you always speak of the life you want to have, like you're always planning, but there's always something else to add to this stream of the life you want to have, and until you start living the life you like, you're not really attracting it because you're not living in that energetic field. So it's sort of like, if you want this sort of living, you can't wait until you have millions to do it. You have to start doing now.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to have all this money so I can be with my kids, but you're not willing to be with your kids now. I want all this money so I can go to the beach on a random Tuesday, but are you going to the beach on a random Tuesday? Are you making sacrifices and moving things around to make that happen, right? Because if you're not, then you're not really attracting that. You're not really like saying that is really what you want. You're saying that's what I want, but
Yeah.
what I'm doing is spending my whole week trying to make money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the whole thing is that you have to be realistic about what it is that you want and really be okay with telling the story and living the story how you want it to be, like
Yeah.
making shifts around it, because there are so many people, dude, that are doing so many interesting things, that are coming up with opportunities and hacking life in a way that I'm just, every time I find out about people and what they're making businesses out of and what they're doing online and how they're living life, I'm just like, damn, that is awesome. Like you can do that,
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think we're shifting into living in a world where anything is possible, versus like for our parents and our grandparents, it was very much like you had to go to school, you had to do things this way, you had to, whereas now it's like, what do you want to do? You tell me. The world opportunities are endless.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And it's great. It's a great thing to think that you're creating your you're having children into this new, way more evolved world. So like when by the time they're 18 or whatever, whenever they start their own businesses and their own things, they know they will have the support they actually, need, and the information as well, which is one thing that we lack right now, because we're trying to figure out everything on our own because nobody has the answers. So maybe when they are
because we're
18, 20
pioneering
years
this
from now.
nonsense, but it's also because we're pioneering this. Like by the time I think by the time our kids are like 20 years old, they'll all be like having a bunch of businesses, managing them easily if they want to.
We will
like
win the Golden Globe of entrepreneurship.
Either that or we died. We died trying.
Yeah, there's only one of the two options. Nothing in between.
Nothing in between. um I want to see if I can I found a really cool entrepreneur online that she was basically like, I'm not trying to like, be the next billionaire or have 10 companies. She's like, I just want to like work an hour and a half every morning, have coffees, really just looking at my view, tend to my plants, and like read a book in the afternoon on my couch. And I'm like, yes. That's what I'm about to. I'm not trying to like jump on planes and be everywhere and like, no.
Relax, chill.
You are not gonna be seeing me doing music videos in front of my jets and like, like bragging about how many flights I took, working on the jet. I'm sleeping on the jet, okay, or eating or something. I'm not working. Like, like those ads you get of like the guy who's like a billionaire and he's like in a jet, like working on his computer. I'm like, why are you working? That's not the vision. That is not it.
Just go in the business class. Come on, like don't need the jet for that.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Yeah, if you're gonna work, like damn.
Please.
softer, a softer life, way softer. Lower the stress levels. We want to kind of expectation I want.
No. Oh, this episode.
I've lost track of what this episode is about entirely.
Yeah. Okay. What is it now that you're like, this is my last one, like your vision of success with like, not what you see obviously in the future or anything, but like for you now, what is something that you see yourself as successful and it's like something you attained after motherhood, and something that you like also doing for yourself, but it's like for, the whole greater good. Wow, that was very
dude, being able to work and make a living online, like knowing that I can now fully support myself, like completely on, like I've been working at this actively since 2019. Since 2019, I've been able to make a living online. Like I myself, like sometimes for big pockets, my whole family, but when it was just me and Roger, and then in some pockets when it was us three, but it's always been on and off, and Roger has always helped, right? But now, summer 2024, I can finally say I can support my family, just me, with what I make online. Like I've been doing it since the beginning of this year. And that is insane because I work a few hours a day. You know what I mean? A few hours a day. and it doesn't feel hard, and I love what I do. I love what I do. Like, there are tasks and things that obviously we know we want to change and move around and stuff like that, and I still need to figure out a lot, including like how to properly manage time for like running two companies at the same time and all the other stuff, right, while continuing the lifestyle of traveling. Like, it's definitely not like, I made it, I'm done, I'm settled. It's definitely not it at all. I'm not there, but I can finally say I understand a level of things, and I'm at a level of things financially, but also like getting what I'm doing. I'm where I need to be able to say, okay, yeah, okay, I'm gonna be doing this for the next 10 years. Like, okay, now I
Okay,
can,
that's good.
like, and it's
Breathe again.
great, huh? I'm
You
like,
can breathe again.
yeah, that was the level of stress, because like there are so many moving pieces, and finally I feel like, okay, they're all advanced enough to where, like, if one falls, I'm still not going to be stranded, right? And there's enough
Yeah.
going around that it's like, okay, and now I can start delegating and outsourcing smaller pieces and thinking of, okay, what am I doing? And it's really nice because now I can say my husband doesn't have to, that's it, he doesn't have to work. It's good. It's good. We can go somewhere. We can actually go and like fully travel, and I can do this, and I can actually say, I don't want to just stay home. I'm not afraid. Like, I actually want to run these businesses, and
Mm-hmm.
like, I want to actually be able to sit down and maybe do 4 hours a day and just put some time into like how to design this. And it's really cool because I've never had this level of success at something that I created,
Yeah.
when I felt this good about my job was usually when I was winning at a job that somebody else wanted me to do, where they were getting the majority of the profit,
Yeah.
somebody else's
That's not
creation
it.
that I was playing at. And now it's like, well, this is my thing,
Yeah. So
So
it's
I don't
your
know.
baby. It's my
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah. So, that's really good. How about you?
How about me? Well, mine is like, it's exactly yours, but I haven't reached that yet. But it is exactly the same as yours. To be able to be one never left. Honey, you can resign now. Retire, yeah.
Make
Like
me
the
coffee.
tagline. I retired my husband
Oh
in
yeah, that's
three
so
months.
ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. But
No, I don't
it's
want to
so,
do that, obviously,
yeah,
but
yeah. But if the
I want
family
to be
can
able to
be
be like,
away less time, yeah.
yeah, exactly. I want to be able to be like, yeah, you can help me with our business. We work four
Exactly.
hours a day type thing, instead of, having to go and do 8 hours of a day and
And
not
it's so
having,
much,
being able to enjoy life.
exactly,
And always
exactly.
working for someone else. Especially because the other day they told him that, because he's going on holiday, but because he's got such a higher position that, he needs to be on his phone. I was like, excuse me? Like, no matter how higher you are, you deserve holidays. You deserve vacation. Like, this
Exactly.
makes no sense. No matter how much you get paid, like, fuck them.
Yeah,
I'm
how
always
can you
like this.
not
I'm
have
like, fuck the system. Fuck them.
well, I mean, I'm sorry, but no, like,
No,
what?
I'm
That
sorry, but
makes
no. Yeah,
absolutely
no.
no sense.
No. Like, it's not his fault that you can't rely on other people. Like, excuse me? You know what I mean? Like, no, like, build a better team. Like, don't rely just on one person just because he's good at his job. Like, that's just ridiculous. Because
That is
if
stupid.
he decides he does something that you don't like tomorrow, that's it. You get rid of
Yeah.
him. Like, these people don't care, that's for sure. So,
Yeah.
don't matter. Don't matter.
Oh.
I am doing it. I'm going for it.
She
I
feels
will
strongly
save you.
about this. Anyway, thank you for listening to today's episode, which is a very interesting one.
I
Don't
hope
forget,
we inspired you for,
or
to think
something.
outside the box. Success means nothing. Like, it means whatever you want it to mean. Nothing
It
that
can
whatever
literally
someone else.
mean nope, nope. It
Yeah,
can literally mean
it's
nothing, or it
whatever.
can mean
Just
anything. Yeah.
exactly.
So at the end
It's
of the
got its
day,
own definition.
and it's not it's a moving dot as well. It's not, it's not a one, it's not a permanent stop. It's always gonna be
As soon as you
shifting.
get to that spot, you're gonna be
Yeah.
wanting something else. So
Okay, you ready
it's
for the deep
gonna.
one? You ready for the deep one? Because
Oh
it's a
yes, let's go.
because it's a moving point. That's why you want to make the destination what the success is. The whole point is to enjoy the journey, right? To enjoy getting there. Because once you get there, that's gonna move anyway. So you might as well make the fun the journey of discovering, of moving.
Wow,
It has to
that's
be
something
fun.
I feel like I was gonna say when I was 18. I've learned at 30. I can live my life good now.
So this is why
You should listen to us more often.
yes,
We've
that's
got
why
these pearls of wisdom.
this is the pearls of wisdom.
I mean, it was. Come on. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
Pearl. Pearls.
Pearl, pearl. Is that how it is? Please tell me that's how it is. Right? That's how you say it.
Pearls of wisdom. Oh, I love this. Oh, I'm crying. This is too much. Pearls of wisdom. How old are you?
I told you this is like an 80-year-old listening to this.
Wow. Okay. If you made it this far, congratulations. We should be friends in real life. Come and let us know if you made it this far on Instagram at Who Let the Moms Out That Pod, and we will see you next week.
Bye.